Expect an Arctic air invasion starting tomorrow with temperatures on Wednesday as cold as 36 below the normal for the day. In fact, we are forecasting lows on Wednesday morning to be as cold as minus 22 to minus 23 degrees below zero. That's not wind chill, that's air temperature. Welcome to the Weather Ready YouTube channel. We would like you to subscribe to our channel, and if you like weather content, and like and share with your friends and family. And if you subscribe, please click the button. That way you can get the latest updated videos. Here is a watch warning advisory map issued by the National Weather Service. And what we're highlighting here is there's an area of winter storm warnings in the pink extending from western North Dakota through northwest Wisconsin. And we have a band of snow breaking out just behind that Arctic front that we mentioned in a video last week. Also, I want to show you the upper air pattern. I'm using the GFS model, and this is 500 millibar height anomalies. And if you watched the video late last week, we talked about this deepening trough bringing Arctic air down. So here's the latest analysis from the model. And what I want to highlight is we have a ridge of high pressure building well up into Alaska, and the airflow is coming across northeast Alaska and then down into the east of the Rockies, with a piece of the Polar Vortex over Hudson's Bay. As we step this into the future, you can see the Polar Vortex and the coldest heights over the northern plains, and that's where the coldest air mass is going to be. And we step this into Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday morning is going to be the coldest temperatures for those areas, as I showed you, with lows expected to be as cold as minus 22 below zero. Here's the latest surface map for late Sunday afternoon, December 8th. Here's our Arctic front, and you can see temperatures to the south of the front are in the 50s and 60s, but right behind the front the temperatures drop from the 50s down to the 30s to the teens and single digits. In fact, it's below zero up in southern Canada. If you zoom in right behind this Arctic front, you can see the dramatic south winds with temperatures in the 40s, and then it drops quickly into the 30s and into the single digits with light snow breaking out in North Dakota. Here is the GEFS Ensemble 2-meter temperature anomaly. So everything in the purples and greens are below normal, and everything in the reds is above normal temperatures. So what we have here is for Monday. This is for tomorrow. We have above normal temperatures ahead of that Arctic boundary and well below normal temperatures coming into the Dakotas and into Minnesota. And we step this into the future for the next few days. This is Tuesday. We still have warmth up the East Coast, but brutally cold air with 34 degrees below normal for the average temperature. And then we step this into the Wednesday, and we have the coldest of the air, minus 36 below normal in this area in purple, and the cold air is invading the east, and look how it's well below normal even into South Texas, where the air it's about minus 10 to minus 13 below normal. I do want to show the 12-kilometer NAM. This is the 18Z run on Sunday, December 8th, and what I want to show you is the snow and the cold front. So we have the Arctic front here is a surface low developing, and here's the snow breaking out in the Dakotas into Minnesota, and the model brings the snow into northern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, with a surface low tracking over Lake Huron. And here's the Arctic front, and the snow tapers off from west to east, and we start getting lake effect snow south of Lake Superior and east of Lake Michigan. And the the lake effect prone areas, but very chilly air in the upper Midwest, and that Arctic front is pressing south. And we'll talk about the impact on the mid-Atlantic and Northeast at the end of this video. The National Weather Service forecast for snowfall, and this is ending at 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So basically we have a swath of 6 to 9 inches from Bismarck north, and then also we have Minneapolis 3 inches, but northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan could see a band of 8 to 12 inches of snow. And some of this will be lake enhanced with the northwest flow behind the low. We start seeing the cold air coming into the northern plains and upper Midwest as early as tomorrow morning. You got Bismarck's tomorrow morning's low of -9, Fargo -3, Sioux Falls 10, Minneapolis 22, and Madison, Milwaukee in the mid-30s. And we could see the cold air penetrating by Tuesday morning. Bismarck 10 below zero, Fargo 11 below zero, Minneapolis 4 below zero, and Madison, Milwaukee in the teens. Sioux Falls 3 above. And the coldest is Wednesday morning, where we see -22 in northwest Minnesota, Fargo -19, Minneapolis -10. So some of the coldest spots are as cold as 23 below zero. That is record-breaking cold on Wednesday morning. And then we'll go one more day. Thursday morning, it's still quite cold. Not as cold as Wednesday morning, with lows in the single digits below zero to as cold as -13 to 14. Let's look at the highs out ahead of that Arctic front. In fact, the high Monday, December 9th, we have single digits in the eastern Dakotas, western Minnesota, but ahead of that Arctic front, we're seeing temperatures warm up into the 60s and also into the 50s and 60s in the mid-Atlantic. Let's go out on Tuesday. Temperatures behind that Arctic front are in the single digits to below zero, extremely cold, and we're cooling down Mississippi Valley. Even Texas is starting to cool down with highs in the 40, but ahead of that Arctic front, we got temperatures well into the 70s, and even Washington, D.C. is flirting with mid-60s for high on Tuesday. By Wednesday, everything collapses, even in the east. Texas starts to recover a little bit on their highs, but in the mid-Atlantic, we're expecting on Wednesday have a high in D.C. area of 42. And still single digits to below zero, the coldest area in the upper Midwest. And we go to Thursday, and that's when the east gets the coldest temperatures, with the mid-Atlantic and Pennsylvania in the mid-30s for highs. And then it's rebounding a little bit for the upper Midwest. I wanted to show some of the models for the cold air coming in, and then the shot for possible first maybe accumulating snow for the mid-Atlantic. So with the Arctic front, this is valid on Tuesday, 12Z, so that'd be 7 a.m. Tuesday, and we have our Arctic front down here, and there's a secondary wave bringing moisture up the Arctic front. And I'm going to step this through with the NAM model, and I wanted to show you as the Arctic air presses southeast, we start to get the precip changing from rain to snow in the deeper cold air with this low pressure wave riding up the Arctic boundary. And then this is valid for Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. And this is saying up the I-95 corridor, we can expect a few hours of light to moderate snow just north of that Arctic front. So this could be the mid-Atlantic. So snowfall for Philadelphia, New York, and Washington, D.C., and Northern Virginia possible on Wednesday morning. We'll step this through. That surface low and that wave ends the precip from southwest to northeast, and the cold air filters in. What I did want to show is a zoomed in area of the mid-Atlantic, and as we see a band of snow in this model breaking out, like I said, between, say, 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I do have also a sounding. This is near Washington, D.C., and this is valid for 6Z, and that would be 1 a.m. Wednesday morning. We do have a warm layer, so any precip would fall through that layer would probably melt. And that could be maybe, and at the surface it's above freezing. So that would probably mostly be rain. And then another 3 hours for 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And almost the entire sounding is at or below zero until we get at the surface at DC when it's 36. And then once we step it through to, this is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, the entire sounding is well below zero. And then at the surface it's 33 degrees. So based on this, that precip should change over to snow even down to DC on Wednesday morning if this model verifies. We're forecasting anywhere from 1 to 2 inches in the DC Baltimore area, mainly north of DC, and then in the Philadelphia, this 1 to 2 inches. New York, around 2 to 3, and then in the Boston area, another 2 to 4 inches. So in the Mid-Atlantic, this could be our potentially first accumulating snow of the season. That concludes this video, and I want to thank you for listening to the Weather Ready YouTube channel. If you like this type of weather content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for listening.